Hey guys, it's Ray. Welcome to another video. Today I am doing a sort of temple build. It's based off of a real picture I saw on Pinterest. I'll put it up here. And I was super inspired by it because it looked so amazing. I definitely couldn't recreate its beauty, like its real life beauty in The Sims, but I tried my best to make it as realistic as I could and make it as close to the real thing as I could. I know I didn't really do justice just because the roof tools didn't really allow me to create the sort of like layers that they had. I was able to do it to an extent, like what I'm doing right now with using the diagonal pieces, and I'm gonna add a bigger one and raise it up a little bit and smaller ones below so you can kind of see how I'm trying to layer it, but I don't exactly get the like look that I'm going for, the exact look that I'm going for in the picture on Pinterest, but I still had a lot of fun doing it, and I think that I did the best I could have considering I had my Sims limitations. Basically, there are certain things that you can't do and certain things you can't make in The Sims, and it's got to accept that. So I think just considering I did pretty well. So anyways, I start with this big piece in the middle, and after I do this, I do a bunch of little pieces surrounding it, kind of like in the picture, and then you saw that there were curved paths kind of leading from one sort of like area to another. I wasn't able to create as many just because this lot, even though I used a 64 by 64 lot, I still wasn't able to fit everything that I wanted to in here, because as you can see in the picture, there were more structures kind of further up, but I wasn't able to place it. I could only do like one main one with the 6, was it? I think 6 or 8. Yeah, I think it's 8 structures around that one. So I was able to add a little bit of a curved path, and it is functional. I use the tools, the debug item from, I think it's Island Living, and it looks like kind of like a path, and I use tool to kind of raise those up above the water. And as you can see right now, the building is floating, so all the buildings are floating above the water too. And I use tool to kind of like size up columns and stuff, and as you can see, place these decorative kind of objects on top of the roofs here. So there's a lot of like pointy things coming up, and I make sure to light it up a lot so it looks super nice at night. And I'll have the screenshots for the night, what it looks like at night. And I even put up a bunch of little subtle saucer lights kind of above these pointy things so that even those lit up at night. So I really tried my best. Like, I usually try to go all out when it comes to like lighting at night, but I really tried this time because I just wanted it to kind of glow at night. And I even used a tactic that the stream uses when she builds, and what she does is she goes like into the basement and she puts a bunch of chimneys under the ground. Then she puts a fireplace somewhere. She has a sim light the fireplace, and when the fireplace is lit, the chimneys have like this smoke emit from them. So I did that so that it looked like kind of this like smoke was coming from the basement area, like from the water. So it just kind of looks like it's sort of steamy, and I just thought that looked super cool, and I definitely wanted to try it in this build, and I think it looked pretty cool. I ended up being able to use not just screenshots like you saw at the beginning. I used kind of like a recording of what it looks like in gameplay, and I think it looks super cool, just not only with the steam but also with the lights that I used, because I used the Island Living sort of outdoor lights that are just like, you can find a table lamp menu, or actually they're floor lamps, I think, and they like, there's fire coming from them basically, so it looks super cool with the fire blowing from those. And I also have candles on the walls, I think they're from the Vampires pack, and I when you're in game you can also see those like the candles kind of like flickering and like fire blowing from them. So I just thought that was a super cool touch that I was able to put on this to make it look kind of more interactive and more alive when you're at least playing it in gameplay. So I thought that was kind of fun. I usually don't do that to my builds, but I just had a lot of fun doing this. I thought that if I'm going to try to sort of make these more, interactive and kind of have more movement going on in them. I thought that, this was definitely the time to experiment with that because, this isn't, even though it's on a 64 by 64 lot, this isn't like the biggest build that I've done because, a lot of it was just copying and pasting. As you can see, I'm doing that with the roofs right now, but a lot of it's copy paste, so it's not super complex and hard to figure out. So that's why I definitely took this opportunity to try to put in more effort on making the little details stick out, just like, the little fire movements and the little steam coming from the water. And I do end up adding, like I said, I add the curved paths using the debug object from Island Living. So I have them kind of go off to the side and lead to these two pieces in the front. The two, not the center one, but the two next to the center ones. You can get up the stairs from both of those because I have two paths leading up to it. And also leading up from those paths are two kind of smaller octagonal pieces that I also add because you can see in the picture that there are also two little ones on the side. And I wanted to incorporate that somehow because I couldn't incorporate as many as I would have liked to because, like I said, I didn't have enough room on this lot. But I was able to add as much as I would have liked to, just to make this as detailed as it could have been. So I was happy with how it turned out in the end, and I thought this was a lot of fun. It's something different. I don't normally build things that aren't residential lots. I know I did for the Sparks Challenge. I have a few builds that I did that were just like wedding destination builds, but this one, it's not like a house because I don't end up putting in a bedroom or anything. I have like a party kind of room in the basement, and there's a lot of seating areas and like statues. I wanted to see more of like a temple than like an actual house. So, on the gallery, I uploaded this as a residential lot. It wouldn't let me change it. I don't know why, but I know how to change the lots from like residential to like generic to like public lots, other things like that. But it wasn't letting me for some reason. So it is on the gallery as a residential build, but obviously, your Sims wouldn't be able to live here unless they could, but you would have to add a bed and all that from, and a kitchen for them to actually be able to survive here. So this definitely could be a real build. It's just that technically, I guess a lot of the parts of this are considered like to be inside and covered because I take out some of the floor pieces to place in like stairs and like balconies and stuff. So it doesn't consider it to be actually part of the interior. But I think in the 8 surrounding pieces, I think they are because it's just archways, no like open walls or anything. And also in the basement area, there's also a closed area. But how the game is sometimes where, they don't consider indoor areas the indoor areas. And then there are areas that you want to be outdoor, but they won't consider that to be outdoor. And it's just a whole thing. Anyways, yeah, sometimes I struggle with that in my builds. And I'm sure other people do as well. But now I'm just adding, I'm trying to get the floor pieces to be added around here. And for some reason the game was not agreeing with me. It was being super slow adding these fences in. And I also later on when I'm adding the like staircases and like the railings around that, it takes like a super long time, which is kind of annoying. But it does end up working out. It just kind of froze up a little bit. And my game crashed during this. Luckily, I saved it like every 5 seconds. So I didn't have too much that I lost. But it was really frustrating. Like the game has only crashed me like 2 or 3 times since I've started playing. One time was when I was making the super modern build, the In the Lap of Luxury build that I did. And I was actually super mad because I'd gotten a lot further in that, and that really pissed me off. But other than that, this went pretty well. So one last thing that I want to mention is that I used the arches. I used the tool object to lower them down. So I placed normal arches so you can actually enter through them. But then I also size them up and make them bigger so that it adds a little more decoration. And you'll see that I use the tool mod to lower them down into the water, so it almost looks like there's like stilts holding this whole thing up, but really it's just part of the arch. And I thought it was like kind of cool of a touch because I didn't really want this to just be like floating off of nothing. I think that would look kind of odd, but in the picture you can't really tell if there's anything holding it up, like what it looks like, because it's kind of an overhead picture, so I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with that. But I do like the way that this turned out. And I know that it's a little brighter in the picture, but obviously I couldn't find like, I think super yellow and gold that matched each other, so I do end up going with a lot of this beige color. But I think just with the accents that I used, with the railing here and like how the jungle adventure floor kind of has that like yellow tint to it, I feel like it was enough. And I really try my best to just try to get it all to like match and look like, you know, it's kind of cohesive. So here I am placing in the archways that I was talking about. It's just a lot. Like, all I have to say about it is that I spent a lot of time doing this, honestly. Like, this took me the normal amount of time it would take for me to build a mansion, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it was a lot of repetition. Like, you can see I'm placing in all of these, and then I place in all of the bigger arches, and then I have to select them all with tool. So I have to go through and click each one, and then so that they're all in a group, so that I can elevate them all lower just a little bit all at once, so that I don't have to do it individually, which definitely is easier than doing them, you know, all at or one at a time. But doing them all at once, you have to go through and select them all. So that was kind of a struggle. But I mean, other than that, like, it was fine. And I just had a lot of fun building this. Like I said, there isn't that much to do on this lot, other than like in the basement there's a bar area, so you can kind of like hold a party here, so like you definitely hold an event here. And there are also bathrooms in the basement as well. But I think I mostly just kind of built it just for fun, to see if I could do it based off of the picture that I found on Pinterest. And also I really wanted to try to build something that like wasn't exactly a house. I wanted to build it more like for the aesthetic, like for reasons of aesthetics. Just trying to make it look kind of cool, and like trying to create something sort of pretty, because I do a lot of builds just for like functions, kind of like for specific reasons. Like, I want Sims to be able to live here, or like a group of Sims, or like I have specific Sim in mind, like the type of Sim that would live there. But for this one, I kind of went for it. Like, you could place this in your town, I guess, if you wanted like a nice community lot that would be pretty to visit, and I guess like take pictures at or something. Like, at least that's what I would use it for. Like, in real life, like if I were to go to this place, I would go there and like, you know, have like a nice evening or take pictures. I can just imagine like how pretty the sunset looks like on the water just from this lot, because this is the lot in Windenburg, so it's just off of the water there on the island, and I just think that would be so pretty. Oh, so here I'm placing the path that I was talking about. I did use a little tool for this because it wasn't agreeing with me. I originally had to place it down in the water and then raise them all up above the water, so I kind of skip ahead that part because it's kind of it's a pain to do and a pain to watch. But then what I do is I build rooms above these and then delete the walls and the ceiling, so that it's just the floor, and that way your Sims recognize these paths as an actual path with a floor, and then they get from the front of the lot here to the main section of the build on the water, and then also to the little side things that I'm going to add here off to the right and to the left, where those little paths are leading to. And those are just mini octagonal pieces that I'm going to add. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you like when I do sort of non-residential builds like this, because I think that it's a lot of fun. Like, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I knew that this was something that I was gonna have more interest in doing after I did the Spark challenges, because, you know, I've basically always done residential builds, so I just thought it was a lot of fun to be able to build those wedding destination builds. And also that's kind of what inspired me to work more on builds that just look nice. Like, I don't need to do builds that have like a reason for being there. I just want to have something that's kind of cool. So thank you so much for watching. There will be screenshots at the end. I'm also going to do the entire interior, believe that. I think because this wasn't a house and I didn't have to do all the bedrooms, I think that's one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to do the interior. I did not shy away from it. And also a lot of it was repetition, because like I said, this build, it was just a lot of the same thing over and over again. So I kind of decorated it in a very cohesive you know, way. It's very consistent throughout. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm just gonna have music playing for the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!